This is a continuation from my previous video about how powerful the tongue really is. And one verse again that sticks out is Proverbs 18 and 21. It reminds us that our tongue has the power to bless and to harm. And so today I'll be touching base on 5 different topics and 5 different bullet points as far as how the tongue can really impact your life and your day to day, really. And so, in one of those areas, again, just going back to that verse I just mentioned before, the tongue has the power to bless or to harm. So, today, if you had to sit back and ask yourself, what have you really put out there? Was it a blessing to others? Was it a blessing to yourself? Was it harm to others, or was it harm to yourself? Honestly, today for me, I would say it was harm to myself. But uh, hey, that happens. Sometimes you do have to just, I won't say speak negatively to yourself, but it's going to be times where you second guess yourself and second guess if you're capable of doing something. And I'm not saying like you're afraid of something, or, that's not you saying that you're afraid. It's just that you're taking a step back, realizing that you need to make improvement to a certain area of your life in a certain area that you need to improve at. So, this really leads to the second thing. Words shape your identity. What we say to ourselves and what others say to us can really define how we see our worth and our future. You know, Again, as I mentioned, what have you said to yourself today? But what have others said to you today that's impacted you in a good way or even a harmful way? A lot of times different days really calls for different things. And so some days might be good words of encouragement to you that I'm sorry guys, I'm just it's like something in my nose, but some words are like good encouragement, words of encouragement to you where it feels like the day is just amazing and you're floating on, I don't want to say a high, but you're floating on a cloud and it makes you feel warm and fuzzy, no worries for the days to come. But then when news break or when someone comes up to you and says something mean about you or says something about your character or says something about what you have on, just the little things that you wouldn't even think of, that can really kind of really mess up your day and just have you second guess everything throughout that actual day. And it's happened to me. I mean, it's happening to me right now, but I just find it so funny how one week you can feel just good about something, and then another you can just feel deterred about even continuing the same footsteps that you begin. And that really just shows you the words that you say to yourself can be impactful, and not just a I need to improve in this certain area or this certain criteria. It really affects your mental in a way that it can really make your day horrible. It can make your interactions with others around you even worse. So for all that to say again, so number two is the word shape identity. If you had to ask yourself going throughout your life, how is your identity through different phases in your life? Going through elementary school, of course, you didn't really think much about it because you were a kid, so you were just always playing with toys and doing just kid stuff. But once you got to middle school, you realized that, everything isn't just candies and candy apples, I guess. It's more to what people think about you. That's really when you realize that people actually have an opinion about you. Whereas elementary school you do, but middle school really is the next level of realizing that, okay, well, I really have to step my game up to show people that I'm cool or that I'm capable of doing this. And so during these different phases of life, we automatically kind of presume that we have control over our life in elementary and middle school, but it's really what people say to us that kind of shapes our identity in that certain time period. High school, again, it's even worse. It's become more prevalent, as well as college. College, that's when you can really find yourself, and no one really judges you as hard as high school. But high school is where, you know, just one little word can mess up the actions you take in the next couple of following years. And college, that's not how that usually works. I feel for college, you may fall into one thing, doing something wrong, doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, and maybe even doing the right things. And then you'll realize to yourself that, well, this isn't my identity. This isn't myself. So why am I even doing it? College is just a stomping ground for you to really mold yourself into who you want to become in the future. It's less judgment. And so for number 3 would be Jesus' words brought transformation. If you go throughout, his different books of the 3 or 4 different tales of Jesus, it really shows that God was there, Jesus was there to really help others. And that was his agenda. He didn't come first. He put others before him. And so some of the things that he did was he healed, he forgave, and he gave hope through what he spoke. And, that's very important. If you're a deity, of course, which he is technically, that's very important, and that really will have an impact on others because, people look up to you as the Holy One. And so how can you call yourself a father? How can you call yourself someone above someone else if you can't be positive? And even if it's a negative, atmosphere, why can't you be the positive one to lift someone else up? And, during those tales, it was a lot of people that had faith in Jesus and had faith in his healing and what he's able to do for them. But it was also people that second guessed him and questioned him and didn't realize where their life was going, but still took the designated steps to really go up to him and see what he's capable of. So today I ask you, have you let Jesus be that father that not just, not for you to accept him because he already accepts you, but have you been willing to have him mold your life so that you can accept it? And that's actually something that is very prominent in my life. Do I accept the steps that I've taken, and do I accept that he's put me in this kind of predicament? Because most of the times just in general, a lot of people say that you're here, you're wherever, in whatever process or whatever step you're at in your current life. They say that you've took the steps to get there, in which you have, but also God plays a part into that. There's plenty of times in the Bible where God would meet someone on the road to their next journey or to their next destination that they planned out. So God is the all-knowing. He knows our steps. He knows the different paths that we're going to take. So he plays a part into no matter what we do. He plays a part in it and definitely facilitates certain actions that's going to come about from those different things that we do in the beginning. So we just have to accept where we're at in life and really bring him into our life to really feel more appreciative about where we're at. And that's something, honestly, that I struggle with. I feel like I have a lot of potential to do several things, and I'll admit I haven't quite put everything together yet, but slowly but surely, I know that just my mental, my spiritual, it's well aligned, and I just need to get everything else put together. So moving on to number 4, negative words can wound deeply, but godly words bring healing. Proverbs 12:18 shows the contrast. Negative words, again, it stings like a bee. And positive words, it flies like a jet. Negative words really, it's certain words that I wish I would have never said just thinking about my past. And if you had to just take a, take some time really quick, if you had to think about what what's one thing that you wish you would have never said to someone in the past and you wish you could take it back, what would it be? Um, there's plenty of things that I would probably do, even though it wasn't negative words. It might have been a lie, and a lie is negative, so that counts as well. Um, but godly words bring healing. Again, godly words, words of just affirmative words, words that are action words that have some good fruit that bears from them. So think about that too. What words have you spoken to others that you may not have realized? You know, you speaking to your parents or your friends. It's so funny. I saw a Instagram. No, I was on Instagram like last week, and I saw something about just someone lying to their parents or their dad specifically. They wanted to go play the game, and the dad's asking his son, can you come watch a game with me? And the following week, his dad passed away. And so it's just like, what do you put first, really? And because these can definitely fall in line with negative actions and negative words. But it's just like little things like that. Just blowing something off can be negative and can produce negative words. So you just have to count the cost, weigh the cost of you doing something versus another thing. And so number 5 is we are called to build up and not tear down. Um, we are called to encourage others and strengthen others. Ephesians 4:29 states this. You know, I'm not going to say that there's always going to be, again, cupcakes and uh, just cookies and everything else. I mean, there will be times where I'm not going to say you have to say a negative word, but there will be times where you will butt heads with someone or you will have to stand up to someone. And it might be negative, but it could be negative in a positive way. So I would just say, again, count the cost. You have to realize where you're at in the moment. Some moments don't really call for a blow up. Some moments do. But overall, we're supposed to speak positivity to everyone we meet. Positivity, well, just backtracking. Negativity, it's like a daggone disease. It spreads fast. You get around a group of people that it's a spider on my camera. Holy crap! But you get around a group of people that just spreads negativity. I gotta do this, guys. I'm sorry. But you get around a group of people that spreads negativity, you're gonna become and you're gonna embody that person that keeps on doing it. If you get around a group of people that are positive and just want the right things in life and just speak words of affirmations and just cares about the bigger picture, man, like that right there is like groundbreaking. And sad to say I haven't met a group like that. I definitely wish I did, but or I have. Well, no, I have. I wish I did. Um, or I wish I can is a better word maybe, but overall, it's just like there's nothing like positivity. You know, that's a game changer in plenty of different ways, not just confidence, not just happiness, not just joy, not just love, just I can name other things as well. It's just so many things that it can do to one individual that can lead to just, a group of people. So that is, the main topic for today. I just wanted to touch base on these 5 points to you and just let you know how much our words really can carry us to something. And so I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your time. I'm just being real here, and this is again straight footage, uncut, not really edited. So I'll catch you soon. It's a great day to be here. Enjoy Enjoy the weather outside, even though it's raining. Enjoy that rain, because there's places where some people don't even get rain. But yeah. So thank you for your time. Subscribe. I don't really say that often, but yeah. Catch you soon.